I'm on the iPad, bro.
Ooh,
The iPizzle.
we love it.
Oh no, where's
It's
my...
dedication.
If the hotel
There we
Wi-Fi
go.
cuts out, it's for work though, not vacation.
Oh,
I bet your hotel Wi-Fi is better than Dylan and Ian's. So
dude. It's not our Wi-Fi, it's our power grid. We literally just fucking fry it every time.
that's
Did they
hilarious.
revoke
I
your
did not
guys'
know that.
access to electricity? I'm working on that for the Northeast sector. I got you guys.
Yeah, we got a couple things plugged in, for
Yeah,
sure.
we got a couple things plugged in. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready to play some D&D?
I guess so.
I am.
Okay. After gathering all the clues that had pointed towards the final right end with the support of an archmage known as Volmir, the party set their sights on the inn as the apex of what was planned. Upon arriving, they found more clues that pointed in every direction and confused the group to a certain extent. They discovered a traitor amongst the group named Duval, and Bando tried to distract said traitor. This man Duval then struck down our wizard Bando. Upon receiving the order, a party seemed to have been kicked off. You guys heard explosions and a fight ensued. And then, with the small forces that were at the inn, Jahal appeared magically to the group, and finally our adventurers understood the truth. That they had been deceived, and Jahal confidently and maniacally told our now bruised and beaten members Deep Hollow suffered a fate much worse, and that Villith was now free. Walking the material plane. Villith being a new name, they knew not what to expect, but upon Jahal summoning this being to the final right in, our survivors understood the danger of what had been released. A 20-foot tall, undead woman wearing a crown, and the first champion of Zaluth. Volmir told our party members to run and summoned a door. As they sprinted through, they found themselves meeting a new member of the Azir known as Ilrith, and they used this connection to head towards Ansys' mission, where they now fall from the sky, being unpolymorphed a little too soon upon arrival to this monastery. I will remind you guys had just seen a member of this monastery, you're assuming, standing atop the monastery. Long dark gray beard, hat that adorns his, you're assuming, bald head, relatively plain black clothing. And then suddenly, you guys poofed out of all of your bird forms and begin falling from a solid, 120 feet up in the air. It's no short fall.
This is just calmly falling, just knowing that whatever is gonna happen is out of his hands, but it's probably gonna work out. Just.
Are you guys trying to do anything as you fall?
I'm
No,
specifically
it's just
not.
this. He's like, well, I've had a good run.
I'm hitting the shit ain't nothing to me, man.
Yeah. Ilrith begins to scream as she becomes unpolymorphed, but she instantly cast Featherfall on herself.
Selfish, honestly.
So she used a lot of spell slots to silence Asher the last time. So let me see. I don't remember the initial.
I think you can get 3 people at first level.
Okay. It looks like no, she has plenty to hit all of you guys actually. So she bink, 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 and all of you guys slowly descend this 120 feet. But it's a long fall. You guys don't fall very quickly. And as you guys are falling, you guys start to see members of this monastery come out to whatever courtyard you guys are falling onto. It starts as 4 or 5, and then 10, and then 15, and then 20. It looks like they're almost expecting a raiding party of sorts. It looks like they're trying to muster their defenses because they don't know who you are yet.
As we're falling,
I'm hitting the air swim away.
Okay.
As we're falling, I'll look towards my party and just when we get down there, just leave it to me for a second. I was like, these people are they're serious, and I don't know. I have a bad feeling about some of the interactions that could occur here.
Yeah, Arthur was like mid cracking his knuckles, like, oh, we're okay.
And just about
I
now,
think we should let Asher do the talking.
tink, your guys'
Everyone, just stay
feet
calm.
touch pavers beneath you. And there sits a crowd of 20 or so dark-clad men and women of all races that some show their faces, some don't. You see humans, you see half-elves, you see half-orcs. All of them wear pretty similar attire to Onsis, honestly. You know, there's some slight differences here and there. There's a couple that hold like bow staffs, like over their shoulders, like pointed at you. There's some that like hold kunais in their hands. There's some that just kind of like have their arms crossed and are kind of waiting to see what happens. But you guys are basically encircled at this moment. They don't say anything and they don't like attack, but they're just like kind of closing the gap and kind of like prepared.
Listen, every single one of these people is incredibly dangerous. Don't move a muscle until they approach us.
They're probably like encircled. You guys have like a 10-foot gap in between you and them.
I need to make a personal roll.
And the gap is slowly closing, and you guys see...
Everyone, please, we mean no harm. I know it's strange how we got here. I'm sorry for the intrusion, but I've been called here.
The members with the what you now see as shackles in their hands kind of like take just like a pace back, and they seem to be a little bit settled.
And excuse my party as well. I know that I shouldn't normally come with more. But I promise this is right.
Ilrith at this point says, Ansys, I hope you know what you're doing. And you can see whatever she was preparing in her hands fizzles.
I'm looking for someone.
You hear like the sound of like a stick hitting stone, and as it approaches, you know, members of this monastery separate, and you see in front of you an older gentleman, bald head, but with like a somewhat kept like shorter beard. He's wearing like dark purple and black robes that have like dark gray chains that like kind of adorn the shoulders and kind of like connect this scarf piece around his neck. And it looks like he has a hood as well. And he holds on to what looks like a bow staff, but it's a little bit more like curved towards the top, and it looks more like he's used it for some time as a walking stick. He looks, you know, he is human. He looks closer to like 60 or 70. He's an old gentleman. He has incredibly milky eyes, just as Ansys does, except for his are almost pure gray at this time.
Hello. I'm sorry to arrive like this, and I'm sorry I'm late. Are you the one that I saw in my dream?
He raises his stick and boom, bonks you on the head. No, I'm not the one you saw in your dream. That would be Yuki, the head of the monastery. And don't you ever do that shit again. You scared us, okay? And we could have killed you very easily.
I'm sorry, that's just, everything's been so weird lately. We had to get here as soon as possible. I promise you, this was the best means of doing so. We need help. We have information as well.
And for the purposes of the current setting, let's go ahead and switch into a different setting for us. However, I will restart the stream real quick to get 60 frames per second, because that looks better. As you guys now sit in front of this group with a man that has spoken to you, we've known of your arrival for quite a while, actually. Show me your scroll. And you adorn it, the like gold foil with just Yuki across it. Yeah, okay, that tracks. He kind of just turns around and starts walking in the direction. He says, "Well, follow me." And he just like slowly saunters into the monastery as this group now is surrounding you and just kind of watches you in expectation.
Take the lead right behind him.
Asher's gonna like wave happily at everybody as he's walking by.
You assume Ilrith, one, doesn't talk to a lot of people in general, and now being threatened and everything, she seems really uncomfortable. However, she just takes up the rear. She just stays as far behind you guys and kind of just like tries to be out of the way in some manner. This man, however, continues to walk, and as he's walking, he explains, well, I'll get you guys quartered and everything after this, but Yuki's gonna want to talk to you. But first, I think I should show you guys something.
Sure.
My job here is lore master. I keep the history of the monastery. I keep.
What is your name?
I was looking for that actually. My name is Lore Master Apothos. If you can't tell, I've been doing this for a little while now. And, well, there's not many things in this world that come as a surprise to me anymore. But we've actually known that you guys are coming. You know, like Yuki kind of is supposed to know. But I myself saw you guys coming. And just now you guys approach a dark stone, like almost obsidian glass archway that into this hallway stretches maybe 60 or so feet in length, and along the sides of it there is just like pictographs and etchings and carvings and like imagery that show events of some bygone history along the walls. It's dimly lit by a single like candelabra chandelier in the middle that hangs maybe about 15 feet off the ground. And it is no warmer in this monastery than it was outside of the monastery. It is very chilly up here.
Could you tell me what the name of this monastery is?
So, as you would know, none of the monasteries have names.
Oh, okay.
You have your lay, which is your home, but you do not have a name for your monastery.
Okay.
Everyone is just the Kage, the shadow.
Okay.
He begins to walk towards the far end of the hallway, expecting you guys to follow. And as you guys go, you see just hundreds upon hundreds of depictions of death. It is a name in Aki that you would recognize. You see a couple very prominent names throughout history that some of you, if you guys could speak Aki, might recognize. There's figures that look more important than others with their necks slit and like dark purplish ink like kind of scraped out to make it look more gruesome. There's very clearly a long history of this monastery doing their job of keeping balance. Towards the end, though, you see where the hallway is not filled in. You begin to see where the hallway doesn't have a story yet. And the last image on the hall shows a party of 5. And at the front stands the member of the Kage that they would recognize, with 4 shadowy figures behind. And first off, he turns around and says, "Where is your 5th?"
Dead.
He's passed.
It's troubling that we were told you guys would show, but we didn't know anything after that. Look, you guys, it's not the first time that, we've had visions of some sort of future. This happens quite often. But it is strange that we don't know what happens next. The story is unfolding, it's not told. You guys have a piece to play in the history of this world, here and now. In the history of this monastery, clearly. We've known of you for quite some time, and quite truthfully, Ansys, we didn't know about you until your monastery told us, but supposedly you show great promise, and we hope to nurture that. And I hope that your allies share the same, as usually you find good company.
I appreciate that, Lore Master. This is my friend Arthur.
Oh,
Yeah, I got a question. Why are we involved in your freaky death temple?
that's my question as well. We don't usually get visions of outsiders.
Fair enough.
My job is not to get the visions. That's Yuki's. However, my job is to keep track of them, make sure the story is told and held. Lore Master. We know not what the purpose is, but we hope it's balance and not chaos. We hope to see your destiny be fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
I'm gonna
has
lean
a
over to
full-
Asher and be like, "It's always an old guy."
Lucius will outlive all of these people.
Did Asher just say that?
They didn't hear us.
It's a-
These people, this Lore Master Apothos does not give you any mind.
Excuse my friends, Lore Master. I promise they're good. They're okay. We may seem like a band of misfits, but we've already been through some things together, and we're searching for answers.
Follow me to. I'll get you guys some rooms. Just now, Yorifit has been following you. She goes, "Wow. Look, I wish I could stay and see what happens here, but I've got a lot of research to go do, people to find, allies. I've got to go talk to the Emperor. Look, I don't mean to leave you guys stranded by any means, but I think you guys are capable enough to at least find your way around.
How can we stay in
Cut
touch?
her off. Mage hand. Fat ass. Wave goodbye in her face.
I got a thing for the communication.
Yes,
That's
I
right.
gave a sending stone to your good friend Arthur here.
Forgot about that.
She looks
Thank
at
you for your help, Purist.
She looks at you, Asher. She spawns a bigger mage hand and just flips you off.
I look back at the lore master. I'm like, I promise it's not always like this.
The lore master, he goes, look, everyone, we're doom and gloom around here. I get it, but you guys are allowed to have some fun. I get it. It's okay. I'm not gonna go run into Yuki.
I was like halfway expecting to get bonked again or something. Like that bonk fucking hurt. I was like, oh shit.
Also, given the climate, is it like a current like snowstorm, like the Throat of the World Skyrim one outside?
So not quite a snowstorm. Snow is falling, but it's super light.
Okay.
It's just cold outside. It's windy, but it's not like perpetual downpour of snow.
Got it.
At this point, Ilrith, okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll keep in touch. You guys do great. You'll be fine. Lore Master Apothos, it was a pleasure to meet you. And have never been in a monastery like this before. I hope to see it again sometime whenever we're done saving the world, hopefully. Goodbye, everyone. And she goes, oh, wait. Actually, is there a courtyard that I can put chalk on? I'm going to have to draw a circle. The Lore Master kind of, yes, you said Lady Ilrith, yes. Can just head down the hallway the way we came, and honestly, if you just want to use the courtyard you guys came in, that's good. She goes, thank you very much. I bid you guys adieu. And she saunters off very quickly. Unless there's anything you guys need to like catch up with her real quick about, but
I don't think so.
okay.
No.
It is also about this time that you guys are being led towards your rooms. Ansis, you get to a door, and you've been in a room like this your entire life. It's one of the dorms. It's a simple bed. There's a mirror that sits above a bucket, and there is not a whole lot. There's a chest to keep some things in, not any shelves or anything. And each of you guys are shown to a separate room just like this. The Lore Master stops at Ans's door. Yuki, I'm sure will be around shortly. But, you know, in the next couple minutes, feel free to deliberate. I mean, if you guys... Yuki will find you if you guys want to walk around the monastery, or if you guys want me to like guide you around, I'm more than happy to do so, but just, you know.
Yeah,
So.
you know, we've been through a lot recently, and we might just take a second to hang out, gather our thoughts.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Well, if anyone needs me, I don't know how to tell you to find me. We're a bunch of monks who hide for a living. I don't really know what to tell you. Oh, the library. I'll probably be in the library. And he'll mark out like a place to go if you guys want to go to the library. It's easy enough to find. But
Thank you. We'll meet you there.
You guys are left to your own devices for the time being. It is pretty late in the night now. It is cusping into the next day, or into the early 1 a.m. now. And it's a quiet hour you guys have if you guys wish to deliberate or anything.
Well, I have to say, everybody, I do appreciate your behavior. Thank you for not embarrassing me in front of the people that matter to me most.
Yeah, we got you, dog.
That's sarcasm?
I think it might be.
Maybe a hint.
Well, I've been stationary too long. I'm gonna go practice, and Arthur's gonna walk out having no idea where like an open area is. He heard something about a courtyard, so he's gonna try to find that.
You know, just to make this funny, roll an investigation check, just in case you roll a nat 1.
All right. I got a natural 20.
Oh, okay, yeah, you actually find a different courtyard than the one you guys landed in. The one you guys landed in was very simple, pavers down. This one is like a smooth stone path down the middle, but with like dark pebbles and like gravel along the side. And there's these like twisted, thick purple willow trees that hang to the sides. And one, you know enough about plant life that this environment is harsh. Not many things live up here. And also, these trees don't look entirely natural. It's hard to explain. They're like dark purplish, like long, thick leaves that are kind of like fringy. They're like 10 feet tall, but they just droop extremely low. Eerily beautiful. But this courtyard is very large, has plenty of space.
Yeah, he's gonna just take off his trench coat and lay it like probably under one of the trees, and then he's gonna just start shadow boxing.
Yeah, it's actually the perfect place to do so. There's training dummies in this courtyard, and you see many people kind of doing the same thing about. There's some people underneath the trees meditating as well. Very little light is shed on the courtyard, though.
Okay.
Is there anything else anyone else would like to do?
I personally would like to go back to the area with all of the stuff written in Aki.
Absolutely.
I'd like to like familiarize myself and make connections with the things I've studied and the things I've seen from my own monastery.
Yeah, absolutely. You go to the hall, make an investigation check for me while I pull this document up.
It'll be an 18.
The first thing you notice is a very prominent name, and it's only prominent because it's a king. The first Valenti king, known as King Bronchi Valenti, or sorry, Bronci Valenti.
Yeah.
This is the man who basically started the Fara Ana Inor. He is historically a brutal conqueror. He was historically, to put it simply, extremely racist against elves. That's how it started. Yeah. And just after that, you see...
There's like a slight like burning in Ansys's chest.
Just behind that, or just after that, like in the canonical order, you see the name Ferine Valenti, the second Valenti king, who also met the same fate as his father, Bronci. Ferine, it might come to your mind, Ansys, is a historically elven name, and the Valenti Empire is very much not. Or the Valenti Kingdom is very much not. But those are two prominent things you find. The rest, it would be a way higher investigation or history check to kind of understand the history of what's going on in here. But this monastery had a long history of taking down some people who needed to be put in their place.
Can I see Arthur from where I'm at?
Not from this hallway. I'm sure that you could find him very easily if you wanted to.
I don't know what Kev and Asher are doing. But I am just gonna step outside really quick, and I want to just like gaze upon the courtyard and what's happening. And if I can see Arthur from there, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's the same description of the courtyard, but these massive stone walls that adorn the outside of it have like an arch on the outside that kind of has a gate out to like some snowy field or like mountaintop. And it's very serene here. You haven't met a peace like this in a while now. You guys have been on this adventure for just about a week now. Ansys, you a little longer. You've been going for about 2.5 weeks since home. It's a good respite from the chaotic world you've seen, and it's very tranquil compared to Golden Spire and the hellish views that you've seen. It's good to be home. And
I'm gonna,
directly to your right, there is Arthur as well.
cool. I'm gonna take a massive deep breath, and without acknowledging Arthur like verbally, I'm just going to like study him training, and I'll take a seat and just kind of rest up and enjoy everything that's going on around me. It's like the first calm moment I've had for a while.
Arthur, would you like to describe what your fighting style looks like?
Yeah, Arthur has a kind of like he kind of just made up a lot of stuff on his own, but the way we would recognize it, it's a lot of like mixed martial arts, but with, like it's a more focus on boxing. So he kind of is just, I guess I don't know if shadow boxing would be a thing that the monks would do, so it might look a little strange of him like ducking, throwing punches, kind of jumping up. He seems a bit, despite his size, he's scarily light on his feet.
Yeah, Ansis is just kind of like internalizing this and kind of appreciating like the finesse of such a large person. Almost kind of like not envious, but happier that you're with me than against me.
As you guys kind of sit in this moment of peace and whatever kind of like tranquility you guys appreciate, a little bit more snow begins to fall, and it builds a little bit here and there throughout like the next hour or so. During this hour, is Kevrick and Asher wanting to do anything?
Yeah, I'm heading to the library. I'm gonna see if they have any text on Elif Tell and
Okay.
his history.
Okay, absolutely. You can find your way to the library easily enough. Let me go ahead and grab this real quick. Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Free.
It's a lot of the same stuff you've already kind of known. He was kind of like the savior of the elves towards the time. I'd say you find a little bit more of a specific date. It's around 300 PC, which is post-conjunction. So it's a long time ago, but not super long time ago. It's about 400-ish years ago. Like that's a long time in the like in this short scheme of things, but sometimes gods have existed for eons and so on. You also find another name, kind of like next to his. It doesn't come up as like celebrated, but it does come up like kind of in the same honorability at least. And it's Arbelladon Ilquinti. And since you speak Elvish, you know that this means beacon.
Or Belladon, what?
Yeah, Arbelladon, I-L, and then the last name is Illquinty.
Word.
You can't really find much about this Arbelladon, but he comes up in the same kind of like times as Elith Tell. Just to kind of give you like a recap, Elith Tell is like the founder of Last Light, and then you know that he at some point left Last Light to go on some sort of a rebel mission, basically, towards the southern parts of the Valenti Kingdom, and kind of never made it back. That's kind of the end of what you know, though.
I'm gonna walk up behind Kev and kind of just tap him on the shoulder and say, "Can't you just ask him whatever you want to know?"
I mean, like he won't talk to me. I don't know what it is. He has an attitude problem. I think he's not for the team.
Have you tried to make friends?
I've tried my best.
What's he like to do?
I don't know. I think he's pissed. I think his sister's hot. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's a good start.
He doesn't do cartwheels, that's for sure. He likes killing humans, so that's kind of off the table.
Yeah, I'd appreciate if that didn't happen.
Yeah. So we'll let him simmer out. Maybe he'll come forth with some knowledge here every once in a while, right, Elith? And then he gets no response.
You swear you hear a in the back of your head.
He's an EP boy right
He's
now.
an
It's
EP
past
boy.
his bedtime.
What's funnier is Asher wouldn't have heard anything anyway, so it's
But yeah, you don't find any more information about that.
Jeez, I'm gonna close the book and be like, books are for losers, anyways. Stand up.
Is there anything else you guys would like to try and find in this library? It's a massive library, very extensive.
I think at this point in time too, like Ansis will dust the snow off his hood and he'll try to join the rest in the library.
Okay, yeah.
I'll look for anything on Lucius.
Okay. Make an investigation check for me, big guy.
19.
Okay. You find quite a bit of information. You know that he was brought to life under service of a pit fiend as a minor devil about 1,000 years ago. This is post falling, but pre-conjunction still. So he was not alive during the massive god fight, but he was alive for the fucking chaos that ensued during the conjunction. And then it also marks a history of him working his ass off for about 200 years under this pit fiend. Pit fiends are obviously historically very bad people. It is said that he made a lot of contracts to kind of gain himself a following of some sorts. And with this following, he ended up basically turning on this pit fiend and slaughtering him. And throughout the next 400-ish years, it kind of goes dark, and it just marks that there's a new lord of the second level of hell. There's a new lord of the third level of hell. There's a new lord of the fourth level of hell. There's a new lord of the fifth level of hell. It seems like about the fourth level of hell, though, he begins to pop up in name again, where he slaughtered the then lord of Phlegethos, the fourth level of hell, to take his position. And then over the last 300, 400 years, he's been cementing his position as the sixth Lord of Hell. It doesn't quite track how he got to that point, but it says that there was a lot of like shifting inside like the hierarchy of devils with Azaius himself, the King of Hell. So you assume that there's some sort of a contract that was brokered between the two. Especially with how you know like your contract was made, it doesn't make like the things kind of fit into place where it makes sense that there was a contract between the two of them. And then the last thing you see, Asher, is that he was reported dead by the hand of the seventh Lord of Hell, Pharnaces. Which you guys kind of knew that. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah, of course. Oh. I will say, just as like a note, it mentions very often that his physical form changed along the way as he gained more power. Do with that information what you will, but I think that's something kind of interesting to note.
I have a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, the Emperor was mentioned earlier. Do we know who that is?
Yeah, so the Emperor lives in Golden Spire. So as of right now, The Valenti Kingdom and the Khazal Empire are at odds. Once upon a time, they ruled as a not necessarily like one empire, but they had equal laws and they kind of ruled at peace. One in the south, one in the north to hold one standing army, kind of hold peace. Sometime along the lines of like 30-ish years ago, they split, and the Khazal Empire became an empire and not a kingdom, and the kingdom up north became a kingdom and not an empire, kind of deal.
Okay.
The emperor himself. Actually, I need to get out my original notes that I wrote on my fucking paper because I haven't transferred everything yet, or not on paper, but on my iPad. Let me get that name for you. But yeah, the emperor himself lives in Golden Spire, in the massive golden spire that the city is named after that sits at the center. You haven't ever been very close to it because it's hard to get even into the third ring of Golden Spire. But the name of the emperor is Emry, E-M-R-I, Khazal, C-A-S-O-L. And his title is the Golden Spirit and the One Ruler of the Land Touched by Light.
Okay. Next thing is Arthur's gonna look and see, because, well, actually, I want to know if Arthur knows this offhand. Does he know the identity of the Baroness?
I would say this is kind of up to you. How much dealings do you think you would have with like law enforcement and like a local government type of sense? Like are you taking people to the stockades, or are you leaving them in the streets? Like, are you meeting with people to kind of like try and get people to kind of make a change in the streets? Like, what's happening there?
He's probably had like a pretty decent bit. Like, if there was any like things dealing specifically with the Devine family, he probably wouldn't bother.
Okay.
But more like petty crimes or anything, he'd probably just take them to the stockade and hope that it would.
So you
do something?
specifically remember a couple times where you might have had a lead, and you brought it to a woman named Ollivander Eastry. Ollivander is spelled O-L-I-V-A-N-D-E-R, and then Eastry is just East R-Y. You did not know her by the name of the Baroness, but you begin to connect the dots of what was told to you and how the job that you kind of like had a lead on suddenly went awry.
Okay. The only other thing he would do is he's going to look for if these people have anything on the Devine family, specifically in regards to dealing with them. Because he's not really buying this whole balance thing when this whole organization has this town eating out of their hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Make a investigation check for me.
All right, let's see. That's much worse than my earlier roll. 6.
I will say you find a couple things. There's not a lot of names. There's one name that you find, but you don't know it. It is simply just an older member of the Devine family who has been killed. And then you kind of find like a task list of things that they've been doing, and then it falls silent maybe 30-ish, 40 years ago, where the Devine family they no longer became an active thing they were keeping track of.
Okay. He's just going to take a couple notes, and that's all he needs.
Okay. I will say in this moment as well, Arthur, if you don't have the name Ostello Devine written down, I would say that you find that here as well, and he's the head of the house right now, because that's a very well-known thing. I would say they're still keeping track of like the names, not necessarily of what they're doing though.
Okay.
One last thing, if possible, Can I look for anything on Zeph Talor?
Yes, you may. Roll an investigation check with disadvantage. Because there might be one book in this entire library that has anything to do with Zeb Talor.
Okay.
So yeah, roll 2 dice, take the lower.
14.
Okay. Let me find.
Disadvantage shaft me there, I don't even lie.
You said what'd you get?
14.
14. Okay. Making me go deep into my notes. Let me pull up. Once again, I have to go to the OG.
Probably good info comes from anyways, dude.
Okay. So you find his title, The Fist of Valor.
Knew that already.
Yep. Yeah, it mentions that he is one of the 4 pillars of Court's following. Like, he represents one of the 4 pillars, valor, honor, etc. Valor,
One of the
honor.
4 pillars of what? Sorry.
Of Court's following. There's just an air of strength about the name. Like, it mentions him in high esteem. It mentions him with accolades, but you can't find, like, specifics. It just is like, it's like, this dude did a lot of shit, but no one's sure what. At least in your instance with a 14. Okay.
In the library, do I still have time to do something really quick?
Shoot, let's see.
Can I find the lore master really quick?
Yeah, the lore master is in, like, this little nook with, like, scrolls and books piling up, and he's currently just kind of, like, scribbling into something very hastily. Oh, Ansis, nice to see you. Come, sit. He looks around, like, this nook and kind of just, like, shoves a bunch of books off of a table. Sit down, have a seat.
I sit down next to him and I say, although things have been unclear, I've studied all my life, and I know that there's always something in history that changes the tides of everything. I have to say, personally, and I think you would be a good person to ask, being the lore master and all, can you show me anything in this library, documents, schematics, anything? I'm looking for a weapon, gear, something that has existed in the past that may possibly help me in the future, even if I cannot have it yet.
Are you gonna mention the cloak of the true shadow, or are you just gonna ask this question?
I'm just gonna ask this question.
Okay. Let me go ahead and. He is the lore master. Okay. He says, "Ooh, He kind of, like, grabs onto the stick he had placed down beside him, like, gets it, kind of shoves himself up. Follow me. And he kind of saunters into the library a little deeper.
I'll follow him.
He stops at a section. He grabs one book, hands it to you. And then he saunters a little further, and he has, like, a capped scroll case that he hands to you.
Takes the capped scroll case as well.
And then he saunters one couple more steps. He pulls out a book. He looks at you. Not this one. And then he saunters a little further, scratches at his beard. Hmm. And he grabs like a tome, and it's not really like a book, it's much larger and thicker, and as he opens it, it's like a ledger. You see like dates, names, and just like a bunch of listing of things. He says, this might be a list of every single item that's been checked in to this monastery. Now, technically, you cannot see this because we are already in a section of the library that you're not necessarily supposed to be in. However, I think in this situation, it might be worth a while for you to take a look at this. And he kind of hands it to you. He says, okay, the first one is about throwing weapons. They were actually commandeered from a deserter of the monastery. He left in service of the Grim Scythe, and we tracked him down and ended his life and took back the gear, as he was deemed too dangerous to be not a part of the monastery. The scroll dictates a very short list of a like wrist hand crossbow. Like, it's instead of like a hand crossbow that you hold and have to reload, it's like a wrist attachment, and it's like a schematic for basically like 3 bolts that get lined up, and you can kind of use like a pressure activated like spider web, like almost like the Spider-Man's web slingers, to kind of like release a bolt, and it either can quickly reload or it has like interchangeable parts to be like a grappling hook and something like that. This one would require a little bit more finesse on your part. We don't have these just lying around. This isn't like a magical item. This is more something that some genius, 200, 300 years ago came up with, and we decided it was important enough to store. Inside that tome, you're going to find something I think that will pique your interest. There's an item that this monastery has a long history with. Not necessarily this monastery, but Arkage as a whole. It's called the Cloak of True Shadow. Of the True Shadow. Sorry, I keep forgetting the. It is... Well, no one really knows what monastery it's at now. But at one point it was here. There was a leader of one of the monasteries that ended up basically taking it because he thought it was his right, and he defeated another monastery's leader in combat to basically defend this right, and then the other 2 basically decided that was kind of fucked up and basically took it back, and we kind of lost track after that because it was deemed too important to just let anyone take. So that might require a little more searching on your part, probably at another monastery. This is kind of the last record I have of it, but I know that once upon a time it was extremely important. I can try and find something about what it does, but it might require a little bit more time.
I appreciate everything you've done so far. If you do find something more about this cloak, please let me know. I've actually run across mentioning of this cloak already, so I think that might be the key that I'm looking for. It seems to be a recurring theme, but either way, I appreciate you letting me into this part of the library. If you don't mind, do you mind if I keep the scroll case with the schematic? I promise you I'll protect it with my life.
It's hard for me to let documents out of this library. My job is to protect the knowledge that we've gathered. if you swear it to me, then yeah, I can understand letting you go with it.
I swear it on my life, and I give him a really stern bow.
Okay. He takes the other end of his walking stick, puts it on your chest and pushes you up. I'm already short enough. You don't need to bow to me. It's fine. Look, Ansis, your story is concerning, to say the least. Yuki usually gives us the information, and your story doesn't have any. It's strange. Trying times are ahead.
I agree. Like I said, everything since I met these people since I left, my Kage, it's all clouded. I feel I'm being pulled in many directions, but I don't know. These people I'm with, I think I'm in the right place. I feel I have no other choice.
Well, whenever there is only one path, it is usually good to follow it. Okay. I'll look into seeing if I can find anything else about the Cloak of the True Shadow, see if I can find something that it does. Other than that, if that's all you need me for.
Yeah, next thing I'm doing is I'm just gonna reconvene with the party and then find Yuki. I think that's definitely next step.
What's up, Kev?
While this is going on, can I take a look for a book on prominent mercantile families of the Valenti Empire?
You absolutely may.
Everyone's unlocking shit right now.
Make a investigation check.
Here comes another 4, baby. Let's see it. Oh, 18.
You find a couple. There's, some names that are just kind of here and there. It's the name Viserys comes up. Or sorry, not Viserys. That's another character. Mythalis Viserys. Jesus, I've got all my names jumbled up, and I'm trying to come up with some easy ones. You see Valeris. There you go. How about that? As a surname, you see Atracius, and then towards the bottom of this list, you see Winthrop. That's really the only one that stands out to you.
Word.
I will say you roll an 18 on your investigation.
Yeah.
Do you want to find anything else out about the Winthrops?
I'd love to hear about the Winthrop.
The current Winthrop family. Let me see real quick.
I'm gonna say Asher murdered all of them or something.
The current Winthrop family sits. Well, the current Winthrop Manor, I should say, is housed by Joffrey and Ashley Winthrop. And they had...
Joffrey and Ashley, right?
Yes. And they had 2 children, a son and a daughter, Asher Winthrop and Talia Winthrop. And something that strikes you as extremely odd on an 18... Asher's been touting a lot of money, but they seem to be in financial struggles right now. You're not sure if he's even aware of it or if he's, pulling up a front. That's not here in this book, but it mentions note of quite a few things going poorly, and the family isn't necessarily in the highest esteem anymore.
Nice. Not what I was going for, but fun.
If you want to look for something more specific, what were you looking for?
I was looking more for my family.
Okay.
But
So Your family does not show up. I'm trying to decide. With an 18, I think it's clear to see that past a certain bracket, people aren't seen as influential here. Your family probably didn't cross into that level of power.
Mm-hmm. All right, sweet. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Well, just about now, Ansis, you mentioned finding Yuki. There's no need to, because Yuki finds you. The man you saw in your dreams, an extremely tall, like 6'4", broad-shouldered, thick biceps, wearing a simple black gi, dark gray beard that is a little longer and well kept, and atop his head sits a wide-brimmed hat. He has white milky eyes, just as the rest of the monastery. He stands 10 feet in front of you, very regally, hands crossed behind his back, as you can only imagine he always does, because this is the only stance you've seen him in. Ansis, it is good to finally meet you in person. I'm sorry for the intrusion into your mind, but I felt it necessary.
That is okay. I'm sorry I'm late.
He gives you a bow, raises his head, and says, "Official introductions, my name is Yuki. I, unlike many leaders of their monasteries, I kept my name. I wanted you to understand this isn't out of disrespect or anything. Just up front, I think that's important because you probably don't even know the name of your own monastery leader. Either way, I wish for you to please follow me, Ansis." And he turns around and begins walking with fervor.
I'll look to everyone else. All right, guys, keep up, and I'll start walking that way.
Arthur's like has his feet up on like the table that he's sitting at, like sketching stuff down, and he's like, "Huh?
Come on, Arthur, let's go.
Okay."
You guys approach a massive, dark, like a dark wooden door, but it has obsidian like glass like poured through it, and there is very clearly 3 symbols in Aki on it. The 3 symbols you see in front of you, actually. At the top of the doors, you see the first symbol, Ginkyo, means balance. The middle, the largest symbol, is Kage, which means shadow. And then the third, which is, it looks like it's towards the bottom, and it's smaller than the other 2, but it's equally marked as important. And this is another pillar of your teachings, Ansis. It is Miru, see, or to perceive in Aki. Next to this door, there is a single saucer with a teacup made out of this fine black porcelain with a gray rim, and it's a dark tea that sits in it, and it has a single cherry blossom leaf floating on the top. And she just holds it. Yuki says, "The rest of you, I'm sorry, this is a solo trial. I appreciate your companionship to our young Kage. However, this is a time where he must walk alone."
All right. Don't die. And he's gonna walk right back to the library.
I'll tell everyone to be safe. Be safe. Behave.
I'm gonna hit him with like an exaggerated bow and head out.
Yuki kind of reciprocates. He feels a little uncomfortable doing it.
Good luck, Ansis.
Thank you. I have a feeling I'm gonna need it.
The woman offers you this saucer with the tea in it once more.
I'll take the teacup and sip from the tea.
You stare into this like extremely dark liquid, and it's really comforting as you like swallow. It's extremely warm and it hits your chest and it expands throughout your entire body. And I don't know if you've seen like Doctor Strange whenever he gets his soul pushed out of his body.
Mm.
It feels extra planar where you sit now. It feels like you're not quite corporeal or in your body, and everything around you is warm. And then you look up towards the door, and there's just a black void behind it. There's no doors closing it anymore. There's just vacuous void, and Yuki's nowhere to be seen.
I always was more comfortable in the shadows, so I'm gonna take a nice, good step into the shadow.
As you enter, you hear a line from a familiar voice you now know as Yuki. Maybe you will leave with understanding, or maybe you will leave with nothing. As you enter the void, it is all consuming. You look back for the door and it's gone. That warmth that kind of like filled your body and filled the area around you is now gone, and it is freezing cold in here. You hear wind blowing, and despite not feeling it, you look down at your feet and you can see, as you take a step, ripples of shallow water underneath you ripples out from you. Just now, you hear a gong sound. It rings out in your head, and knowing that all that encompasses you right now is void, you once again hear the familiar voice. To see something in front of you is easy. Shit. Balance can mean many things, young Shadow. What does it mean to you?
Balance is synonymous with alignment. When things are balanced, all parties benefit, but at the same time, no parties benefit.
And balancing in a literal sense can also be just as important as balancing the world in a metaphorical. And the floor underneath you falls away. And even though you were already in a black void, the water, now you can hear it rushing off of a tiny platform that you were standing on. And it falls and cascades down like a waterfall. In front of you, you can barely make out the water falling into the void in what looks like 5 successive smaller segments. You sit at the largest end of a series of smaller rocks. Or, sorry, not rocks, of smaller segments. Do you wish to go forward?
I do.
Okay. This is where I will ask you for your first dexterity check.
Ooh.
Just a 20 plus my dex modifier, or d20 plus my dex modifier.
Yeah.
Oh, let's fucking go. 22.
You bound, and as you bound, the jump you thought would be close grows ever further, and for a second, your mind fills with panic of, I didn't jump far enough, and then poof, your feet hit the ground. You remember all of your training to kind of overcome anxiousness in the moment. And in front of you sits an even smaller segment that you must now climb to.
I take just a small pause, remembering my teachings, of course, watching my breathing, and I'll make another bounding leap.
Make another dexterity check for me.
Like this one is probably the one that needed to be a fucking higher number. Oh, that's sick. I rolled the same exact thing. 22.
You bound, and you feel confident in this one, and your feet hit the ground. There's a sense of calming understanding that you're about to be tried, and another segment spawns in front of you. This time, even smaller.
I have my hands in front of my chest, and I'm just concentrating, intently staring directly at this platform. And I'll make another jump.
Absolutely. Another dexterity check for me.
This will be a 17 this time.
You bound, and the impossibly small place where you're supposed to have your feet, your toes barely hit the edge. You balance yourself on the edge, and you take that final step forward to kind of catch yourself.
Oh, I made it?
And you look at the void around you, and you're not sure what happens if you fall. But it's best to not find out. There is one final object in the distance that you must now make the final leap towards. If the last one was impossibly small to land on, this one is impossibly small to even understand how to get to.
This time, I close my eyes completely.
Okay.
And jump. And all I'm using is what I think should be there.
Yeah, make a dexterity check with advantage.
Okay. An 11.
You bound towards this last sliver, and your foot just barely misses the edge, and you're falling, but you have another chance to try and catch yourself. How do you want to steel yourself and to catch yourself in this moment?
I am going to remember back. I mean, of course, this is all like a life flashes before your eyes type of moment, but I'm gonna remember back to my mission when I was younger, when I was climbing up the tower, and I had to, and remind me her name. Do we remember her name again?
Not off the top of my head. I'm sure I can find it real quick.
I'm going to just reiterate what I said to her in session 0. because she was stumbling, she was gonna fall, and
Yeah.
so I'm remembering that, and I'm just going to channel all of the strength and energy I can into my hands to try and grasp onto whatever platform I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Make one last dexterity check for me.
Motherfucker, let me get everything out of my fucking way so I can roll this dice. Oh. That's a 1.
Okay.
Plus whatever my mod is, so like a 6. So, but it was a natural 1.
It's a natural 1. As you picture this moment in your mind, a different feeling comes to you as you are plummeting. And you open your eyes, and there's just nothing but you're falling, and you're grasping for something to try and catch yourself. And there's nothing, and nothing. And it feels like you fall for an eternity. You lose all sense of being in this space. Until a voice booms into your mind. I see. You are trained well, but you lack purpose. Who are you, Ansis? What does balance mean to you? He asks you the same question again. And you're still, it feels like you're falling, but now you're kind of like upright.
Hmm. Hmm. Balance is when humanity flows like water.
Your feet gently touch water once again, and you see the ripples bound out from underneath you. You still have much to learn. This is clear. And yet, my job is not to send you away if you fail. It is to sharpen the rough edges so that you become a finer weapon. To see something in front of you is easy, Ansis, but to look deeper, use the 5 senses, and to understand the world around you is a much harder task. Understanding is perhaps the most impossible thing we ask of our monks. What do you understand about the world? What do you see?
I see pain, corruption, I see a weight scale with all of the weight on one side of it. I see rivers flowing in the opposite direction than they should be. I have to say, I don't know if I quite understand yet. But my time so far in this world has been very revealing.
And much more will be revealed to you as you continue your journey. You are correct. The world moves in a direction that we may not understand. The scales tip to one side at one time or another. Pain is a funny thing, Ansis. It can be a valuable tool to understand the world, and also a valuable tool to correct it. You will see more of it. How you deal with it is up to you. And whatever kind of man it makes you, I am interested to see. Your nose is flooded with a smell of incense. Now seek me, and we shall have further things to discuss in a forest of... You're familiar with bonsai trees. Bonsai trees are usually small. They're very small trees. They're known as weak in many cultures. They're known as hard to take care of. But these are 10-foot tall bonsai trees, and many of them sprout from the ground. Incense flows into your nose, and almost like a smell, it's like a fresh summer breeze. Do you wish to follow this smell to try and find Yuki?
Absolutely.
Go ahead and make a perception check, and this will be using your sense of smell.
Yeah, so that is... Yeah, can you remind me what the modifier would be for that?
You just get advantage on it.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Simple enough. And you said what check?
It's a perception.
It'd be a dirty 20.
Okay. You begin to find your way through this dense forest of strange bonsai trees, and the smell grows thicker and thicker. And you haven't quite found him, but you're on the right path. I'm going to require one more perception check to kind of right yourself into the right direction.
All right. Advantage or not?
Advantage, yeah. It's the same
Oh, yeah.
sense of smell. So.
Okay. Ooh, 25.
You've got the trail. You're like a beast on the hunt. It's like a werewolf to blood. You find your perfect... It's like you have a compass in your head. You know exactly where you're going. And as you break through the edge of this forest, you now sit in an opening with just one bonsai tree that sits at the middle. Yuki stands in front of it. A familiar scene you saw in your dream. Seeing the world can be hard. Understanding even harder. But I think that you have the tools to do what is in your best interest, our best interest, and the world's best interest. To be a shadow can be difficult. Shadows are always around you, yet no one minds them. They permeate to the places that they fill. They create darkness where there is light. Yet your shadow can tell us the direction to find the light. Do you understand what it means to make change yet have no fame? Kill and gain no honor. Show me your ability to be one with shadow. Strike me down, and you will understand.
I instantly use a key point to cast Dissipate. So
Okay.
step of the wind, but to hide.
Okay.
Just to...
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
24.
As you go to make this movement back into the forest to kind of hide, Yuki begins to step in the same direction as you. And then As you're stepping away from him, he catches you almost impossibly fast, and as he begins to reach for you, you bound and disappear into the darkness. Good. You've mastered one part. Now can you finish the job?
While he's talking, I'm in full Naruto fucking sprint to his flank, and then I'm engaging from the rear, or
Absolutely.
like just not from the front.
Yeah. Make an attack roll. This is with your advantage and everything.
Yeah, and at this point in time, my needle is just like it's just fucking drawn.
Absolutely.
All right. So do I need to roll the hit?
Yeah.
$21 to hit.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Is this crit or?
It's so it's not a crit unless you roll a natural 20. But
did
this
not.
is your sneak attack. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So and then I don't double. Do I double my damage on a sneak attack?
No.
Just the dice. No. Okay. Yeah. So it'll be 7 damage base plus 2d4s. So 7 plus 3 plus 1. That'll be 14 to hit, or 14 damage.
Tell me how you strike Yuki.
At this point in time, I'm trying to incapacitate, immobilize. So I'm actually going to, if I can, I'm going to try and slide between his legs, and I'm going to slash at his Achilles, both of them at the same time if I can.
Okay.
I guess it's not really a slash, it's more of like a
Yeah.
like a stab in both of like the calves as I go by.
As you go into a full sprint on his flank and you unleash your weapons and you find purchase in his Achilles. He dissipates into a flurry of leaves and wind. You suddenly find yourself in front of this massive bonsai tree, and Yuki stands in front of you once more. You have made me understand that we might have a future after all. Even though the story is not written yet, I believe you will find one that ends well. Over your journey, you will change, young Shadow. As you change, this bonsai tree will reflect you, your soul. What will it show you? I wonder. Yuki turns and there's a glass container in his hands that has a thin layer of soil at the bottom and like a leather cap towards and like wood on the bottom. And it's got 2 leather straps that hang over the sides of it as well. As you glance up at this bonsai tree and then back down at the container, the bonsai tree disappears and there's a small bonsai tree that grows in this container. Tell me what this bonsai tree reflects in you. What does the bonsai tree look like? And in this, keep in mind, in this stage of your journey, where you're at, what you think about the world, what you think about yourself, and just show me what it reflects in the shape of this bonsai tree.
Yeah, so the bonsai tree looks it looks juvenile, so it doesn't have like the wood texture is rather smooth, as if it has just been like sprouted kind of deal. The wood is incredibly dark, of course. The foliage on it is kind of it's black, but it's also like like a red sheen kind of on it that kind of glistens as the light hits it in different ways. It also looks incredibly unkept. There's no wiring, there's nothing holding it really at this point in time, and so it kind of like stretches off towards the border of glass in like a really irregular fashion. I think kind of symbolizing the different ways that Ansys is kind of like feeling tugged and like the new paths that he's connecting with the world. But yeah, other than that, it's also the sand that surrounds it. Of course, just black as night. Or actually, you know what? No, the sand that's around it is more of the color of like the salt flats that you would see from near my homeland.
Yeah. With it, you get a fine pair of silver snips as well.
Okay.
They're almost surgical in nature with how finely crafted they are. Yuki approaches you with his palm out, and in it there is a single seed. You will return to your monastery with that bonsai tree, showing what your journey has shown you and what it can show your monastery. But you will also take this seed, plant this seed, and present your tree, young Shadow. Bring beauty into this world, Ansys. Return this tree and plant a new one. And by your design, the world can become beautiful once more. And he turns his hand over to hand you the seed.
I hold my hand out, waiting for him to drop it into my hand.
He doesn't release it. He just holds it in front of you.
Yeah, I will use 2 of my fingers, and I will do like a very direct like uppercut into the base of his wrist.
Yeah, just to kind of like flex it out.
Yeah, literally just to like pressure point his hand into opening.
Yeah, this won't even be like an attack roll. Just make a dexterity check for me. I wanna see how well this goes.
That will be a 15.
You hit it, and his wrist flexes down, but it doesn't quite open. And without even noticing, Yuki's left hand is planted with the same 2 fingers into your side, and it you get struck in a way that makes you almost unable to breathe. And he has barely moved, still holding it in front of you. Take it. It's yours.
Does he have a cane or anything, or does he stand pretty?
He stands pretty tall. He's pretty muscular too. He's not like a small man.
Is he kind of above me right now? Like, did
Right
I kind
now,
of like
yeah,
keel over?
You're kind of keeled over and a little bit.
So what I'm going to do next is kind of like going off of what I just experienced in the trial. His hand is above me, so I can't see it with my eyes. I'm going to close my eyes and just I'm feeling his presence, and I'm going to reach quickly for his whole entire arm and try and toss him over my shoulder, and then I'm going to try and so abruptly pull into an armbar on the ground where like I'm trying to snap man's arm in half.
Okay, absolutely. Make a dexterity check with advantage because I love it.
Okay.
It's kind of the whole purpose of this combat.
23. I'm sorry, 22.
You go to flip him, and you catch him perfectly off guard, and you flip him in a way where you were already beating him to the ground and have his arm into the armbar.
I'm
And-
using like all my weight just to slam his arm down on top of me.
His palm begins to open, and as he's on the ground in this armbar, he tosses the seed at your forehead. Let me do a roll because I think it's fair.
Oh.
He lands it right in your forehead, and it kind of discombobulates you for a second. And before you even notice, Yuki has the same. Instead of being kind of like you behind him in the armbar, he has twisted around and almost dislocated his shoulder from the socket, and he's now rearing back with his left hand and going straight for like the arms that you're holding onto his arm. How do you want to dodge in this instance? The seed is also maybe a foot into the air, kind of like hanging over you right now.
Yeah, so at this point, kind of like when you see almost like in like a UFC fight when two fighters are trying to constantly submit each other and
Yeah.
they keep countering
Yeah.
over and over and over again. I'm going with the motion because, you know, he's dislocated that arm. So I'm just going to accentuate the motion even further and just like I'm trying to rip the man's arm off of his body and get him in a position where I can just push him away and catch the seed.
Make a dexterity check for me.
Because at this point, I'm trying to get him in front of me and just like almost like kick him in the ass away from me.
Yeah.
And where I can just. 21.
You kind of reverse the momentum on him and let him slide by for a second until you push perfectly with your other arm, and he is now a solid 5 feet away from you, and poof, a cherry blossom seed falls into your hand. And you're back in front of the doors that had opened into a void. And on your back sits 2 leather straps with a bonsai tree attached to your back and a seed in your palm. Yuki's not around. In fact, no one is around.
I take this seed and I find a special place for it in my like on my person. It's not even like it's not in my bag.
Yeah.
Like I want it like firmly pressed. I kind of put it inside of my dress, but against like a strap to where it almost is like it's almost hurting my body being there.
Okay.
Like if I would know it's not there because it would stop hurting me.
I understand.
I almost like even arrange it to where the sharpest point of the seed is like jabbing my side.
Okay. As you find respite in the area around you in the cold halls of this monastery, whatever trial you just underwent is what you assume you were sent here to do. You come out of it feeling whatever way you feel.
Yeah, Onsis is he's feeling lighter, he's breathing easier. And although he failed and he's miserable with this feeling of failure, he still walks with his chin a little bit higher.
Victories don't come often in this line of work. And even though no one was here to congratulate you on yours, you understand that there's a sense of pride in a student that was able to take down the master. you are left to your devices. I think this is a perfect time to go to break as well, unless there's something you want to do real quick before.
Yeah, I mean, just right before I leave this area to join with the rest of my group, Yeah, because I'm safe in this monastery at this point in time, I just take the hair that has kind of grown recently, and I take two, like, glass needles.
Yeah.
And I tie my hair up a little bit, and I put the needles to kind of keep my hair back at this point in time. I've still got this mask on right here, but I've kind of pulled the hood off just to kind of chill for a bit.
Absolutely. The small man bun that now sits atop the back of your head has two finely crafted needles that stick through it to hold it together. And you venture towards where you hope the rest of your party is. And like I said, I think this is a perfect time to go to break. We had a huge character moment. Thank you guys for sticking in there. I know that was a lot, but it's a big moment, and the rest is up to you guys. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. All right. As of now, y'all, I think wherever everyone else is, if you guys are in your quarters separately sleeping, I will say about an hour has passed while Ansys is gone. If you guys had anything you guys want to do in that time, you guys are more than welcome to ask and, tell.
Arthur would have gotten bored. The others would have known because he would have audibly said, "I'm bored," and he would have gone up. He would have went to the training grounds and tried to find a sparring partner.
Ooh, I love it.
That's good.
You can
I'm
absolutely...
gonna be sparring Arthur in that shit.
You're gonna spar Arthur?
Facts.
Okay, yeah, let's do it, guys. Let's
go
go to the courtyard. You two find this white ring of stones that sits towards, like, the gate entrance of it. And there is a couple people that have just gotten done sparring. You guys have the sparring ring open. It's about 10 feet by 10 feet, so not very big, but not too small. And you see the two dudes that got out of it, they have no shoes on, they have no weapons, it is fist only, no armor, like, it is a brawl pit.
I'm gonna take off my shoes and armor and like take my shirt off, and so like I just have my pants on.
Okay.
Arthur's like taking his trench coat off, and he sees Kevry take his shirt off, and he's like, "Okay," he's gonna take
Yeah.
his off.
All right. Well then, if you guys are gonna square up, I think it's only fair we roll initiative.
Oh god.
Like, I think I was gonna be like, "You sure about this? This is kind of my forte."
I haven't got my ass beat in a while, so
All right, that is wow. Of course, I rolled good on an initiative that doesn't matter. That's a 21.
yeah, I had a nasty 9 on that bad boy.
Yeah. Kevrick gets kind of stunned in the moment, and it is absolutely your go, Arthur.
All right, Arthur's just gonna kind of like hop on his feet a little bit, and then he's
Kevrick
like,
is audibly coughing in the ring. He's oh shit.
Got a snowflake in the shit.
like I think Arthur's gonna he's gonna hesitate a second and be like, wait, maybe this guy's like, maybe he's like sandbagging a bit, so he's gonna like throw up like a straight right at him.
Yeah.
One second, Google is being there. We go. That's an 18 to hit.
You don't have armor
Which-
on either.
Yeah, what's my armor?
So your armor class would be
10 plus your dex. I
yeah,
think.
it's 10 plus your dex.
I have a 9 then.
Oh,
Everything's gonna hit.
okay. Well, that first punch. Okay, I rolled the minimum on the damage at least. That's 6 bludgeoning for that first punch.
Let's go.
Absolutely
And then-
massive.
And then he's going to use his bonus action to throw another punch as he's like, okay, maybe this guy's a bit more durable than I thought.
Kevrick is also the one who got his ass kicked in the fight previous.
Yeah, so he was still like, I don't know, but and that's a 15, no, 16 for another 8 bludgeoning.
Jeesh. I'm already be coughing up blood.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna be like, you sure, man? We could. It's like I just wanted to see if I could pick up a couple moves from these people, but like if you're still down,
I'm gonna take my turn first though, before I give up.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh,
Bro's gonna summon.
I roll a 14.
if that's 14 total, that's just below my armor class. It's 15.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a big whiff then.
You're just gonna swing wide, yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna put Elith talent between us and be like, I'm done.
I think Arthur was like readying another punch, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Either Tell kind of comes out and he's got like a sleeping cap on. He's like, "What the
He's
fuck is
confused.
happening?"
Like 2:30 in the morning, he's just so discombobulated. I'm gonna just be like, "Yep, that shit hurt," and just walk back to the sideline and put my shirt back on.
Oh my,
He's like, "Oh,
damn.
Just absolutely massive bruise on my side immediately, just already.
Yeah. So we're not fucking this guy up, right, Kevin? Or sorry, Kevrick.
Kevin."
Nah, he's good. He's good. We can't jump him.
Oh,
He's like that.
I'll walk up. And like actually I want to get tapped in.
Elith Tell, being the only one left in the ring, passes
I'm
through
gonna
your
tap
hand.
Asher
Okay.
and just like crawl to the like edge of the circle. And
Elith-
Elith Tell is kind of still sitting on the side watching,
Yeah.
but he has like popcorn now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take shit off. I'm gonna like spiffy up my armor.
Yeah, I would say that roll initiative to see if you will go before his next turn in this instance, but he's already pretty quick. His initiative is decided.
Yeah, mine's 13. So.
Okay, so it is Arthur's turn if you're stepping into the ring.
This is gonna be like, I mean, I like your spirit.
I've only
like,
ever
maybe this
seen
will
you
go better.
throw animals from a bag.
Yeah. I mean, I might roll bad. That's a 23 to hit
Pretty sure that hits.
Nah, it doesn't. Yeah.
for 9 bludgeoning for the first
Armor of
hit.
Agathis! Except for you didn't take it, never mind.
And then since he's got armor, he's like, okay, maybe I can go a bit harder. He's gonna use a moxie point to throw 2 more punches with his bonus action. The first one is a 12 to hit.
Does not hit.
All right, and then the second one is 15 to hit.
Does hit.
All right, that's another 11 points of bludgeoning. And that's his turn.
Right.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to. I can't use like spells or anything, can I? It's just fists.
I mean, it's up to you, I guess.
Okay, so if I use my fists, it's just my hit dice to do damage.
It's a
So-
strength attack, I think, right?
Yeah, and I think for normies it's a D6 or whatever.
My hit
Plus-
dice is a D8.
For an
Um,
unarmed strike, if you don't have a feature, it's 1 plus your strength modifier.
Oh, that's right, it is 1, yeah. So no, your hit dice is for HP.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, double is absolutely right. It's 1 plus your strength.
Like the number 1 or 1 roll of a.
Like 1.
Oh, so I can only do 1 damage with my
Yeah, that's why Arthur was like, "Are you guys sure?"
Right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to unsheath my belt.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think I was like,
And
I think we were getting this into it.
as I unsheath my belt and I'm like taking it off, it's turning into a flaming sword,
Mm.
called the Hellraiser,
Motherfucking
and
Hellraiser.
I will roll to hit.
Smoke dope, get paper.
Uh,
Are you trying to maim Arthur in this instance, or are you just dueling, like trying to hit him with the blunt? Like, what's going on here?
Well, I mean, I don't want to kill the guy.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying, are you trying to actively stab this man with the pointy end, or are you trying to land a blow?
Keep in mind, I've already used my lay on hands, so let's not kill anybody. I've already recovered 15 hit points on myself.
I'll hit him with the blunt end.
Okay,
Yes,
it'll do the same damage. It's just not you're not breaking flesh, so there's
Right.
no intent to kill here.
Right. And then to hit is just flat D20
D20 plus your to hit modifier on the Hellraiser.
attack bonus. Yeah, so that's a 25.
I think that'll hit.
Okay. And then that'll be 10 points of damage.
Ooh.
How many of that is fire damage?
Well, I get to pick, low-key. 3.
3 points of fire damage. It's a little hot to the touch. Your skin kind of burns.
A little warm. Low-key probably feels nice for you, because we're fucking freezing and you have no clothes on.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna like stumble back a bit and kind of like spit to the side and go, "That is awesome! How long have you been able to do that? The fire sword thing."
For a while. And then I'm gonna go invisible.
I don't think you can attack and go invisible in the same turn.
Fucking, it's a duel, dude.
It's a duel. Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, you've used your action to attack.
Right.
So...
Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to, I guess, just sit here and await what comes to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm about to have a look at what they did to my boy moment.
Arthur, it's your turn. Asher just landed a blow on you, and dude has a sword you've never seen before.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's gonna just kind of like rub that wound a little bit, like oof, okay, and he's gonna use a moxie point to do brace up to get some temp HP. Okay, that's 4 plus.
You start kind of doing like the kickboxer like dance.
Yeah, like the kind of jump up. So that's a 4 plus my level plus my con modifier, so that's 10 temp HP that I have. And then he's gonna use his action to throw another punch.
Absolutely.
Motherfucker be punching.
Ooh, that's not that good. 14?
Beats it, man.
Oh, your AC's 14?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. All right. That's 8 bludgeoning.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
All right. So I'm going to react with Hellish Rebuke.
Oh.
Ooh. Do I make a save for that?
Let me my back. My back.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna make a saving throw. It's 2d10 fire, so that is 15 fire damage.
Ooh.
But if you make the saving throw,
What saving throw is
It's
it?
halved.
it is Dex.
Dex saving throw. I don't think I meet that, or I beat that with a 5.
Ooh.
No. So you take 15 fire damage as my reaction.
What's your hellish rebuke look like? What, actually, no, sorry. What do you say in this moment to hellishly rebuke? Because hellish rebuke is literally you saying something in an intimidating way to deal damage to someone.
No, I point my finger at him, and he becomes surrounded by hellish flames. That's what my hellish rebuke is. That's how it's written.
I know,
Yeah.
I'm asking you to add flavor to it.
Okay. Let me think. What do I want to say to this fucker?
Unless you want it to look like you point your finger and flames show up.
I'm going to respond to his previous statement about the sword, saying that I'm more than just my wallet and my family's name. There's a lot of things you guys don't know about me, but I feel like there's no better time to find out than right now. And I hellish rebuke.
Hellish rebuke.
That is my reaction. So then my action is going to be...
I'm going to use my reaction to use Bloodied but Unbowed, where when I take damage that reduces me to half my maximum hit points or less, I can use my reaction to gain temporary hit points equal to my pugilist level plus my con modifier and get all my moxie points back.
There you go.
Which is what is that?
Damn, that's really good for low levels. You fucking are at half HP 99% of the time.
That's my con modifier, so that's all right. All right, but that's it. I don't do any attacks with my reaction.
Okay.
He's just gonna kind of like shake off the fire, and he kind of has like this really big grin on his face that you haven't seen a smile of his go this wide before, and you see he kind of like fixes it a bit.
Okay. I'm going to then attack with Hellraiser again, the blunt side, of course. Okay. That is 2 fire damage.
You gotta roll a hit.
Oh yeah, you're right. Fuck. 19
That'll hit.
plus 7, so 26.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a really good sword that doesn't get used.
Except on me.
Yeah.
So that is another 11 damage, 4 of which come from fire.
11.
Or 3 of
All
which,
right.
sorry, come from fire.
You guys are beginning to attract a little bit of a crowd. There's a couple of people who have taken interest from this monastery. You know, the 2 dudes who kind of got done sparring late at night, and a couple more people kind of like coming over and kind of seeing what's up.
A few sparks of flames here and there. So
Yeah, well, specifically the arc of fire that follows this sword as it cleaves through the air is very noticeable in this dark courtyard.
All right, and then Arthur's like pretty messed up from that, but he's gonna steady himself, and he's just gonna go all out with this last attack, and he's just gonna use a moxie point, so he's gonna throw 3 unarmed strikes.
All right.
The first one is what is that, a total 11? So I doubt that hits. The
no.
second one is I can't do math, 22, and the third one is a 17.
2 hit.
All right, so total. That's 15 bludgeoning for those 2 other punches.
Yeah, so I was at 1 health before you threw the first one.
Yeah,
I
just
assume
getting
that you don't
into
intend
it.
to kill him, so
He's
yeah.
not gonna kill him.
What do your knockout blows look like, Double?
I think he's gonna kind of like stumble back a bit, and then he kind of like on his back foot, he kind of stabilizes himself, and he's gonna like move himself forward so that he's almost in a ducking position, and then just move up and then throw a punch right into like his stomach.
You rear back and just and you get lifted off of your feet, Asher, as you are brought into the air from this punch, and all of the air leaves your lungs, and your vision begins to fade to black as you go unconscious for just a second. And maybe a minute later, you wake up to kind of like some of the monks like knuckling your chest, being like, "Yo, get up!"
As soon as I become conscious, I'm immediately putting my sword away as my belly.
Okay.
Francis has been like watching this from like afar, and he's just like, I guess it's time to intervene, and like sprints up to the crowd and like joins the rest of the dudes like pushing on Asher's chest.
Arthur's gonna like have a hand up for Asher. He's going like, "Man, you were tough," and he's because like Arthur's like messed up. He's at 4 HP right now. He's like, "Oh man, that was awesome."
I had a little bit of a head start. I will gladly accept, and I will be lifted up.
Help him up, and he's gonna help him up, and then Arthur's immediately gonna sit down. And he's like, "Oh man."
Well, you guys find yourself in the cold night. You guys haven't had a long rest in a little while. If you guys wish to take one, or you guys can
Please.
meet before you guys rest if you wish. But
I'm down to rest.
Arthur is tired now. He
Yeah.
used like almost all of his features.
yeah, Everyone go ahead and take a long rest. Back up to full HP. All of your spell slots, all of your abilities, key points, moxie points are back up. And you guys awake to a unbelievably beautiful sunrise. You guys are at the top of the world. You guys wake up and there is nothing but perfectly white glistening snow across the tops of the mountains. It's still chilly, still cold, but the view is unbeatable. It's a clear day, so there's no clouds covering the view of just a mountainous landscape for a little bit, and then a field that you can just barely see in the distance. And not many things can top it in this moment, but the sun is rising over the world. And you guys can reconvene to get breakfast and whatever, and also to discuss your next move.
Yeah, Ansis is going to wake up, like rested for once in the last 2.5 weeks or so. And he wakes up super early, of course, but he is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. He found a place for tea. He's got some type of little, like, not the flower, obviously, that was given to me before this ritual, but like some type of aromatic flower, and I'm just holding it and just like spinning the flower in the top of my tea.
Yeah, you guys... Go ahead, sorry.
Arthur got up a bit early, and he just went by the training grounds again, not to spar anyone, just more of like, he's kind of watching these people fight, just, he wants to see if he can steal anything. Like,
yeah,
just,
okay.
Just visually trying to learn, he's like, maybe I can like take a move or two.
You see a lot of not direct martial arts in this instance. Like, some of it is defensive tactics and kind of like blocking hits, but a lot of it is getting to the right spot to take them down in one shot. It's a lot of like finesse movements and kind of like avoiding something to get to the right spot where they can just end it all. Okay. So it's not a lot of like physical blows. I will say, if anything, you might pick up a lot of like footwork to kind of like get close to your opponent in some way. Super light on their feet, very quick, and a little bit of like misdirection. Like it's a feint and then showing up in their blind side kind of deal.
Okay. He's gonna write something down in his journal, and he's gonna go try to meet up with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you guys reconvene. There's a simple breakfast. It's hot and ready to go. It's whatever the hell is in a cauldron that is also like semi-liquid and solid at the same time. It tastes kind of like bread somehow. It's strange. But I guess...
Does Ansis still have his tree on?
Do you, Ansis?
I do.
Then you guys notice fine leather strips and a bonsai tree sitting inside of a glass case on his back.
I'm gonna like walk up to Antis and be like, "Oh, is this the cloak of the true shadow? It's a little more green and less shadowy than I thought." And I'm gonna like tink 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 on the glass like a fish tank.
But before he even gets to go tink tink tink, I grab the hand. I'm like, no.
And I'm gonna hit him with the other hand on the other side. Tink tink tink.
I've got both of Kevrick's hands.
I'm sitting there like over him, and I'm just like, fine, I get it. Don't touch the tree. I take my hands back.
Maybe that's the point, right? You can't tell it's a cloak, but it is. You know, it's a misdirection. They call it a different thing, but it's actually a tree.
As Kevrick has both of his hands grabbed, I'm gonna have a mage hand to go over and like try and tap the glass.
Ansis grabs it with his foot. Standing on one leg.
No, at this point, like Ansis is like standing up, and he's just like, "Hey," he's like, "Knock that shit off." He's like,
"I'm gonna make the hand like sadly like fall like flaccid and just like go back."
Like, this tree is actually incredibly important. It's like no cloak, at least not yet.
What does the tree grow?
Well, I think this is a test. Another one. I I experienced a trial last night with Yuki, and I think it's safe to say that I came up short from succeeding. But nonetheless,
This prize or
And like
mm,
stature or like on the test.
it's like last place prize for sure. I did receive this tree though. My job, I think, is to take care of it. Apparently, it's kind of a dynamic symbol of, you know, everything that's happening. So, yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind, don't fucking touch it. And if anyone else is going to touch it, you fucking kill them.
Word, important tree.
I'm not
Um,
sure if I'm gonna do that, but I'll keep it in mind that it's important.
um, but yeah, seems like me and Yuki have kind of gotten off on the right foot, and I don't know. Like I said, I failed the trial, but I feel better.
as he's talking, Asher's gonna walk up behind Ansis with the spyglass, like right next to the fucking tree, just like looking at it really close, but not touching it.
And at that point, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this will probably be the last time I ever do this. But if there's any place to do it, it's here. And I'll just kind of, and I don't like uncover the tree, but I take it off of like its kind of like platform,
Yeah.
and I place it on the table in front of us and kind of let everyone examine it. No touching. It's like, but please examine.
Yeah, you guys see the same thing that Ansys described earlier. It's a little unkempt, a little strange. It's not
It's a little
quite.
raggedy.
Yeah, it's not quite what you guys expected. But it's nonetheless beautiful in a strange way.
So yeah. Anyways, this will be living on my person at all times, and I like screw it back into its setting.
Forever, or does it have a destination?
So I think my job is to protect it until I get back to my own Kage.
Yeah, you were instructed to return to at least plant the seed and to present your tree.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no safer place than having it around us, so we don't get in any trouble.
Not at all. Nothing blows up or anything.
I appreciate that.
I
I'm
don't
glad
think
we're on
anything
the
has
same
blown
page.
up yet. What are you talking about?
That dude at least blew up at the last ride in.
Do you not remember the fireball, Arthur, that you saved me from?
Oh, I think almost dying kind of made that a little muggy for me. But you're right. That did hurt a lot. So where do we go?
I mean, truthfully, I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of what has happened is preemptive. It was predisposition. Like all of this I was supposed to have done probably before I got sidetracked. So what I think needs to happen is I think we should probably either go find Yuki or we should find the lore master. We should tell them what we have found and find out where maybe all of this is like fitting into their story as well. They say that they can see things usually, but the lore master, he said to me in the library, things aren't as they seem, and they're not necessarily as accurate as they usually are. I think things are a little bit clouded. Obviously, I think you all have had your time to kind of like examine the library as well, and so if we can all kind of get on the same page, and I think have some guidance from the people here, I think that we'll find an answer of what's next for us.
I mean, we do need that cloak, right? So wouldn't delivering this kind of get us closer to that?
I
Sorry,
think so.
You need the cloak.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So yeah, I'll do with whatever you think is best. Just lead the way.
So yeah, I mean, at that point, I will mosey on up from the table and just kind of, I don't know. I'm walking with haste, but I'm also like I know that this is probably one of the last times that I'm going to feel the way that I feel. Sense of safety, a sense of home. At least for a little while. It feels like every time we step foot out of a safe place, it's incredibly dangerous everywhere. So, yeah, I'm gonna go find Yuki wherever he may be. I'm gonna go back to the library, I guess.
Okay. Real quick, Asher, as you guys are kind of like analyzing the tree, he puts it back on. You don't really realize, but like you're kind of a little bit slower, and the rest of the group gets up, and you don't really find yourself getting up for some reason. And then everyone disappears from around you. Hey, Asher, my friend. It's good to see you again. It's not been very long. It's only been 24 hours. But I was alerted to something that happened, and I needed to make sure that you weren't caught up in it. Or you probably 100% definitely were, but I would like to make sure that you're good.
Yeah, what are you worried about?
Um. So there's a bit of a problem on the material plane now. I show up, right? That's
Right.
good. Very good for business.
Pretty good.
And then this crazy bitch from the sky shows up.
Mm,
Not good for business.
agreed.
Now look, I'm very powerful, but I also am still constrained by rules. I'm afraid this being is not. And truthfully, I don't know how this affects everything else. I don't know if this delays our timeline and we're safe because people will be focusing on this, or if it accelerates it. And I just kind of wanted to, lay that seed in there.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely throws a wrench in the plans. To go one step farther, we may or may not be working with either with Tell. She kind of hates you.
Most people who know about me and have not met me hate me, my good
Yeah,
friend.
well, she said that she was eventually gonna kill you because she knew that you were here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm kind of in a sticky situation where she is helping, our goal and our task at hand, but she also knows that she doesn't really fuck with me because I let you out and I work with you, and I didn't really tell her everything that we had to do with, our
I
contract because,
appreciate that, yes.
of course. But
Clientele confidentiality, it's very important in this industry.
exactly. I also didn't want to die.
Oh, yes, that's super fair, yeah.
So she didn't pry too much into that one, but I was wanting to let you know. I think it's definitely scary, but it could also work in our favor with me being so close to someone who is so close to the someone that eventually my path must cross. Um, with that being said, there was no real safe way of contacting you. I didn't want to ring the bell.
Well, I appreciate
Um,
that. I'm quite literally, this was a checkup call. I needed to make sure you weren't captured and everything like that.
oh,
Um,
I'm great. Um, do you have anything that would allow us to communicate easier with less extreme precautions?
my friend, I'm very busy, as you understand.
Right, right. You also, I just don't want you to forget that I'm contractually obliged to help you take care of your, biggest rival.
Yes, and that's why I
And
gave you
that's what
Bell.
I would be wanting to talk about. So I feel like that
Yes,
has
and
some
that's
level.
why I gave you Bell, yes?
Yeah. Um. So is the bell like a one-time use, or like if I have other information I think you
It's
might
not
want?
one-time use, it's just that if you call and I'm in the middle of something, I stop doing that thing I'm in the middle of.
Right, and I don't want that. I want like a, I'm gonna text you. You'll get back to it later if you don't see it.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see. Okay, this makes more sense.
something less urgent. You know.
Hmm, strange. Good idea. Um, Shit. Usually I have my minions around. I don't have Meanie and Greenie to catch to gather my things.
Where are they?
I, I'm in their head right now. I
Right.
just am used to yes. I don't know how to get it to you. Hmm. I think you're lagged out. Oh, there you go. Now you're back. Um, he puts his hands on top of his head. Well, let's see. How about Hmm. This is very tricky. Good idea. How about the next time you're in the city, I'll front you the gold to get something enchanted to do this, and then I'll give you the focus to kind of communicate with me. I can't just show up right now. I've got my hands bound, is what they might say. Um,
Hmm.
but
So any city. How are you just gonna know that I'm there, or should I ring that bell?
I think that's a good time to ring the bell because this is something we have discussed in advance. I know it's coming. I may not show up immediately because I know this first ring may not be important.
It might be important though. What if something happens before we get to the city?
Well, currently you're in the middle of fucking nowhere. I don't think it's
Right.
going to be a day before you get there. Um,
Right.
Look, like I said, I can check in whenever I want. Sometimes I just choose to gleefully avoid.
Mm,
I think this is a good idea. I just can't get something to you right now.
understood.
Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, this is a good transaction as always, my friend. I don't know. I appreciate you
Fuck
letting me
you.
know about Ilrith. I have never met her. I've met Volmir, obviously. Volmir is a lot.
Yeah. Ilrith and me, we don't really see eye to eye, as I'm sure you can imagine.
But is she
She talks a lot.
okay? So that it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, she talks a lot about killing you and like,
So yeah, I don't I don't mean this in like I don't mean this in like a bad way, but I'm someone you want to kill. Like I don't I don't know. I don't want this to get in the way of whatever you're doing right now. You understand? Like
oh, like you don't want me to, you know, try and prevent it.
I don't want you to try and prevent it and get killed.
Right. No, I wasn't gonna do that.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Um, but good for letting me know. I appreciate it. Every good contract is truly built on trust.
Amen.
Hmm. Eh, poor choice of words, I guess.
You gotta
Okay.
have a little humor, Lucius. You gotta have a little humor.
Oh, I'm very good at humor, my friend. Okay. I think that's really all I had. If there's anything else,
Nada. We're all good.
okay. Um, he he like goes to shake your hand real quick, and his giant devilish form appears in front of you. It is a pleasure doing business with you as always. And
I
then
will shake his hand with this one, and then my mage hand will be like the left one.
love it. And the world comes back to you, your senses come back to you, and suddenly your group is just now rising from the table, and they've kind of walked like 5 feet off.
I'll just kind of
Yeah.
catch up to him real quick.
Okay, you guys are going to find the lore master, or Yuki, I suppose, if he's in the library. But you said the library. You approach the library. The lore master is kind of in that same nook, but you don't see Yuki around. The lore master is kind of like asleep on a book. It's early in the morning, but also he's a pretty old guy. You're not really sure his sleep schedule though.
Um, do I know like where would I normal? Oh, I know where to go. Okay. Can I just do I know if there's like I mean I don't know if I know the layout of the monastery, but is there like a central place where there's like a bonsai tree?
You could probably find it pretty easy. Yeah.
Like I feel like if I knew a monastery, I'd at least be able to kind of like sense the flow into.
Yeah, I would say that you know the place that your monastery has, and you can find something akin to. But
That's
yeah.
where I feel like Yuki's gonna be actually.
Okay. Yeah. You find this location. Yuki's not there.
Hmm.
What if we
Um,
ring the gong?
I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah,
I'm gonna think that ringing the gong might mean something else.
yeah,
Who knows? It's all. I feel like it's subjective.
I mean, you
This is
could
an
ring
honest
it.
question, but I'm gonna say I'm against the gong
I
immediately.
mean, you could ring it. I just don't want to be anywhere close.
You
didn't
ring the
they
gong. I
didn't
like
they
that.
Preferably.
didn't they ring the gong when we were like falling in to?
And then everyone came, including the lore master. So like, if we want to talk to somebody, we don't know where they are. I mean, that's a guaranteed way to fucking find them.
The gong's
Ash-
got to be sacred in some way, right?
Like, how big is the gong again?
It's like a solid, like from floor to ceiling, or floor to the top of like the post that holds it is probably like 6 feet, and the gong is probably like 5 feet in diameter.
Is there anyone around, other than us right now, that I can see?
You guys are in a pretty central area. There's quite a few monks
Okay,
meditating.
guys, stay here one sec. I'm gonna walk to literally the closest person to me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna introduce myself. Hey, I'm sure you noticed me and my friends. We kind of fell in the other night. We're looking for Yuki. Do you know where he usually stays?
The who is Yuki?
Oh my God. Okay.
This boy was
Arthur's just gonna like
hallucinating
lean to
the whole
Kevrik.
shit.
Like, I'm assuming we can't really hear them from this far, so Arthur's just gonna go to Kevrik and go, do you think he's gonna get like slapped or punched or something?
I'm gonna like
It's a pretty good chance
scratch
with
my
our
ear. I'm
or
gonna like scratch my ear
Asher.
and point back at the group and say, "What's this guy's name again?" That we're looking for to one of you guys as a message.
Um.
It is Yuki, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's who I'm looking for.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I was confused. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I am sorry. I don't know who you're talking about, but I hope you find
The-
him, my friend.
The leader, the guy who kind of runs this place. Big, tall guy, strong.
Oh, I mean, there's quite a few strong people around here. I mean, we're led by the lore masters. I mean, like, truthfully, they dictate our training. They tell us what to do. They keep track of the story of everything. It's kind of like the final level around here. Our monastery is a slightly different in that manner. We don't have a leader like the rest.
Right. Okay.
Haven't for some time now, at least.
Well, if we were to find the lore master weren't to be in the library, where would they be?
I've never seen a lord master outside the library or outside of the hall. Honestly, they obviously that is.
Hey man, thanks
That
very
is
much. I
good.
appreciate it.
All right,
Thank
have
you.
fun.
I go back. Yeah, dude, Yuki's fucking gone.
I don't know if he ever existed.
Yeah. Ansis doesn't say a single thing. He just walks back up to the library.
Yeah, you guys.
Boy got the spirit tree.
Do you think he's the tree now?
I think Yuki might be the tree now.
Oh, maybe he's the cloak. Maybe the glass case is like the cloak because it's around the tree.
I think the cloak's something different, but I'm thinking that Yuki might be the fucking tree, dude.
You know, Mike, you might be right. Because like if it's not here, I mean,
So I want to find the sleeping lore master really quick.
Yeah, you can find him easily enough. He's in the same nook.
Before that though, I'm just gonna look back at the party really quick. I'm just like, just wait here really quick, guys. And I'm going to gently and quietly and respectfully kind of, shake the lore master awake.
Yeah.
I,
What?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to wake you. I'm sorry to wake you.
Graceful.
What? What time is it?
It's morning. It's morning. It's okay.
Okay.
I had to catch you before we left.
Oh, yeah, no, I needed to talk to you too.
Okay. What's up?
I found some more about the Cloak of the True Shadow. This item is I mean, I see why it could be useful to you. It basically allows you to open a demi-plane, that you basically trap someone in for a period of time. It's almost like your like an extension of your essence in a way. It's like a place you're more effective in. It seems pretty powerful.
Hmm. That's interesting. Thank you, Lord Master. Do you have anything else for me?
Um, did you get your seed, Ansis?
I do have my seed. I kind of like pat my side.
Good.
It'll stay close to me, I promise.
And I know not the name which it stores. But give birth to him again. Or, sorry, them again.
I will. And I bow just as I did before.
He
The last time.
stands up and he's like kind of really slow and he gives you a bow, but only like a quarter of the way and goes, yeah, right, and sits back down.
I don't know when I will see you again, Lord Master Apothos. But I feel indubitably changed here. Till next time.
Um, sorry, where are you guys headed next?
I fucking, this is above table. I mean, I kind of don't like know, right? Like,
I think we're going to Akari Kaigan, right?
I mean,
That's
right, but I don't know necessarily, like, I don't know. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'll tell him we're going to Akari Kaigan. I said, I
Oh,
must return to my monastery. I need to go home.
quite the journey you're on, my friend. I don't envy it these days. Well, I hope you safe travels. Um, tell the rest of your group the same. Um, yeah.
Um, do you perchance know the best fucking way out of this place? You know a thing or two about this area. We're
So out of
far
this,
away.
yeah. So that's kind of the issue right now is you're in the mountains, right? It's a
Mhm.
pretty treacherous way down.
Because we did not traverse up
No, you did
the
not.
range to get here.
No, you did not. Look, I think that since we're at the top already, I can send a guide with you to help get you through the treacherous parts because you guys didn't take the traditional way up. I think that'd be fair. Get a guide with you, um, lead you through the mountains. Where are you guys hoping to end up? You guys could get taken to Bridgeport. You guys probably
Um,
don't want to go directly south back to the final ride in. That seems like a bad idea.
yeah, we don't necessarily want to go directly south. Lord Master, let me reconvene with my group. If you can offer us a guide, that is greatly appreciated. But please make sure this guide is formidable. We seem to be a magnet of sorts to mishappenings, and I
Well,
would hate for someone of
hopefully.
your monastery to die in the
Uh,
wake of our mistakes.
Well, hopefully this guide will only be taking you to the bottom of the mountains. I'm sorry to say they will not be accompanying you further than that.
I'm just saying weirder things have happened to us so far.
You know what? Fair enough. Yeah, you guys saw the sky split open. Yeah, okay, yeah, I understand. I take your word seriously.
Um, I think we should head off here pretty soon, so if you could have the guide meet us in the front courtyard in, let's say, about an hour or so, that would be great.
Absolutely, I can do that.
Thanks once again for your help. And I walk out, uh, glancing just at all the inscriptions again as I leave for the last time. And so I'll walk up to the rest of the group.
So briefly before we go on, I don't have the maps ready this week, but I will have a map ready to go by the next session for you guys to like look at and kind of plan the rest of your journey. But for now, we can kind of get through this initial part of getting out of the mountains and everything.
Mhm.
But yeah, you guys reconvene.
Okay. Well,
So,
guys, it seems as though we're going to Akare Kaigen.
yeah, was that to the west or the east?
That's going to be to the east, yes.
Yeah, Kari Kaigan is off the east coast of
Yeah.
Malnor, and it's, I think, I can't remember the exact days. I have it marked somewhere. I think it's like a 5-day sail from
Right.
like the port of Golden
Bridgeport, right?
Spire, the port of Golden Spire that you showed up in. Bridgeport is in the middle of the continent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we don't want really to go back to Gold Spire, right? Or Golden Spire. Or
Well,
do we?
that depends. Does Arthur know if Bridgeport has like ships, like the types of ships that would be able to make that journey?
So Bridgeport has access to a pretty large river, and it's used somewhat commonly to go between certain places, but it doesn't have like it doesn't have massive like mercantile ships that would be like sea open ocean worthy.
Okay. So, we could try to find a ship that goes from Bridgeport to Golden Spire and then hop on another ship that goes to Kaigen, or we can go to Bridgeport and since we probably don't want to go to the final ride in again, we're gonna have to go through the mountains.
Mm.
We're gonna have to go down a mountain range and go back up it and down to get past, and it's just wilderness as far as I know.
I kind of like the double boat move.
Yeah,
I
why don't you
mean,
just get your boy to call his sister and turn us into birds? That'd be sick.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna work.
Uh,
Doesn't really like you.
no,
Oh, I'm the issue. Right.
actually, yeah, I should probably do that. Arthur's gonna reach into his coat and pull out the sending stone, and he's gonna just try to use it, I guess, and just go, "Hey, our next stop is Akati Kaigan. We're planning on taking a ship from Bridgeport to Golden Spire, and then from there to Akati Kaigan. We're still kind of judging." And wait, does Arthur? I don't think Arthur knows the spell, so he's gonna keep talking.
So, yeah, she didn't give you the activation word either.
Hmm.
And on it, after saying this whole sentence, you realize there's an inscription on it that reads like an elven word.
Oh, actually, I think I can read Elvish.
Oh yeah, then
that'd be sick.
Uh,
oh, I don't have internet. Very cool.
yes, I do speak Elvish.
I can also read Elvish.
Well,
Me as
look at
well.
you guys. You all are so fucking uh
Very proficient in the Elvish language in this group.
it says Nalan is how it's pronounced.
I gotta look at it and just like kind of like smack, like click his tongue. Nalan.
And it poof, glows blue.
Ugh. Okay, he's gonna just reiterate what he said again.
Yeah. um it takes a second for a response, but then finally it glows blue back. Akari Kaigen. Okay. Um I'm in the midst of an important conversation with Imri, there's not much I can do right now.
Emery as in the Emperor.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
what she said.
Yeah, no, I'm just making sure that was.
Are they just gonna kind of like look at the stone, put it up, and just go, "Yeah, we're on our own." She's talking with the emperor.
All right.
Okay.
So we're down to boat or down the mountain, through a mountain, down the mountain, and walking.
Honestly, I'd say it'd take longer by boat, but given that I don't think many of us know how to go through mountains, I think the boat's probably the best option.
I'm pretty good with mountains. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was up there for a
Asher,
long time.
Asher, you also know of a port that might have a boat as well. If you wish to speak on it, but I just wanted to remind you.
Um. Oh, wait. Am I thinking of the right one? Is this the session 0 find for me?
I mean, it's your home, so.
Yeah. Okay. Let me find the right one.
It's just your last name, big guy. It's Port and then
Dude,
your last
Port
name.
Winthrop, dude. We go to Port Winthrop. See, meet the fam.
So,
Um,
you
I'm
guys,
all.
so that is
the only
that is
issue
also
is-
an
Up that
option.
Port
Is
I don't know where
awesome.
that's at on the map. I don't have the map pulled up. One sec.
So, I will say that for now, I won't ask you guys to make this decision just yet. Ilrith calls back on the stone though. So, guys, what do you call yourselves? I need a general name for Emery, and I swear to God, if it cuts off, comes back up. I swear to God, if it's something crass, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Or there's just like, we need a name for ourselves. I guess we never really talked about that. And apparently, it can't be crass.
So,
I mean, if it is, maybe it's not the end of the world, but
seems as
Arthur doesn't want to get atomized, so he's gonna vote for not making it crass.
yeah, Ansys is like acting all shadowy and strange, and he turns his head over, looks at you, and he said, "The fade, the running fade."
I mean, maybe. Does anyone else have any ideas?
Um. Well, our entire last week has been pretty cursed. Um. And we make each other company, so I think cursed company could be one.
I mean, those both work. You got anything covered? Because I'm kind of running a blank.
Nah, I'm good with either of those.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the stealthiest guy, so I feel like I'd let people down with the running fade. I mean, cursed
I like
company,
Cursed Company.
like the alliteration. Also, let's be honest. We're probably gonna die before we get anywhere, so it's fitting.
We definitely aren't IPOing.
Ansys speaks up. He goes, "Cursed company."
Wait, is it the cursed company or cursed company?
I think it's just cursed company, right?
Company, yeah.
Got it.
That's got a nice ring to it. Cursed we shall be.
All right. Guess we're all in. Arthur's gonna put his like hand in
Wait,
the middle.
wait. Arthur, we should fuck with her a little bit.
And how so?
Just think of the most crass thing you can think of, and then just like tell her that's what we are initially, and then reel it back in.
You know what's funny is Arthur was a shipwright, so he's heard some sailors say some vile stuff.
Just spit one off. Let it sit for like 10 seconds, and then actually, tell her the truth.
All right. I'm gonna make a personal roll.
Okay.
Okay. Arthur's gonna search really back and deep into the recesses of his mind, and I don't have it, but essentially, Arthur is going to activate the sending stone, and he's gonna say something that like would make like someone would like probably attack him over. It's so bad. Like it's just something really maybe back in Golden Spire, maybe like it's a very regional thing, but just
Sure.
something like the worst thing he's heard a sailor say.
Oh, now this is where I get to huh. Huh. You speak into this stone. I'm trying to think. Oh man, this is the hardest decision I've made all campaign, y'all. Um I don't know how creative I can be right now.
I think it could just be something that's so like regional that it just sounds like gibberish.
Yeah. You know what? For the instance, whatever you say into the stone, I shall not repeat for now. How about that? Because I can't think of a good one off the top of my head. But either way, Ilritel gets back to you. I don't know. Is that supposed to be? I need help.
Arthur's gonna like laugh a bit and just go, "Okay, yeah, that was a joke. It's Cursed Company. That's the actual thing. Don't repeat what I said. Don't say that out loud."
Emery's pissed.
Like
um,
Arthur's gonna like lower the stone and go, "Okay, we made a bad first impression already."
it glows again. I'm fucking with you. Um, um, Cursed Company. I like it. Good job, guys. It's a good name. And it stops glowing.
Okay, false alarm. We're fine. Oof, good thing. I think we would have been executed on sight.
Way to come out of your shell a little bit.
But yeah, you guys can find your
You
way to like
failed
the
that.
main courtyard, and there is a somewhat out of the norm for your monastery, a man dressed in all white and grays, and he just sits there quietly at the gate.
Yeah,
And he has, instead of like a weapon or anything, he holds like this massive scroll case on his back.
so I'll approach him first, bow to him to
He
kind of initiate
reciprocates
the
it. Yep.
contact. Like, welcome aboard. I'm assuming you're here to guide us.
Yes, I am. I believe you guys were told just about an hour, so if you guys are ready to go, I'm more than ready to head out.
1 second. What are your strong suits? What are your specialities?
Incredibly good at this, at like the landscape. I know how to live off of it. I know basically how to find my way around.
And
In
what's with the
games,
scroll?
in games terms, you would know that's like survival checks. He has really good survival checks. The scroll, that's kind of my failsafe around here, just in case. It's something that I can use to get out of dodge, if that makes any sense. It'll get me right back here, anyways.
Sounds good. I turn to the group. I say, all right, I know we're talking boats. We're talking mountains. I don't mind the mountains. We've got a guide specializes in survival in mountains, I'm assuming. He's dressed in white and gray. A little off kilter for our style, but I'm sure it has a purpose. And based on the precious nature of the cargo in which we are toting, I would like to put in a vote for possibly traversing through the mountains. I know it will take longer, maybe. I don't know if that's true or not, but it may keep us out of eyes reach just from random people, followers, um, rogue patrons. So, what do you guys think about that?
Either
Well, I
way,
think-
we have to go down this mountain.
Yeah, we had to go down this one, so
This
Well,
guy,
that's
this
true.
guy is leaving us at the bottom of this mountain. From there, it's up to us. Um, my family owns a port.
you're what?
Yeah, like you know, the ships come in and they go and they come.
Well, I know what a port is. I used to work at one, but your family owns one?
Yeah. Anyways, you might be able to use that one. It's an option.
You know that
Think-
at the least, Asher, like off the top of your head, you know it's north instead of south, like Golden Spire, and it is technically closer to Akari Kaigan, but it is further away on foot from here.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
little
all
bit
about
farther
it.
to travel on foot, but less time in the water.
Asher, will we be safe?
Well, parting from the fact that, like, me and my sis kind of got a little beef going on, it'll be fine.
Beef, you say? What kind of beef?
Not really beef, like, not physical beef. For another time, we'll be a lot safer there than we ever were in the final ride.
I'm gonna clap Antis on the back and be like, "Are we ever safe?"
It's got a
And
point.
then be like, "We have plenty of time to talk about this walking down the mountain," and start to
Yeah.
head out with the guide.
Safe?
Oh,
No.
wait 1 second, guys. Hold on. We got a name. And back in my old days as a shipwright, well, actually, I wasn't there for very long, but whenever we got a new job and whenever we did a job, we did something. And he's going to hold us forum up. It's like, we got to do this to wish ourselves luck and also to a good job well done. It's going to hurt. He's essentially like the action is just slamming everyone's forearms together.
Mm.
All right. I'm here for it.
Okay. In this show of camaraderie here in
Yeah.
the courtyard, there is a brief moment where the guide kind of looks back. All right. If we will, then let's all head out, yeah?
Yeah, we'll follow you.
Agreed.
Okay.
Let's do it.
He begins at a good pace, like jog pace, like fucking.
All right, Arthur's going to take off after him.
Okay.
Mhm.
Kevrick, this is gonna be a little bit harder unless you want to go like unplated and just like rucksack your plate armor. Otherwise, it's gonna be pretty rough on you.
I'll run down the mark. No, I'll take the plate off.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you fasten like a thing to hold it like back to you, and you guys are off. I think this is a great place to stop where you guys are starting your journey back to your next location. I will have maps for you guys to further make an informed decision next week as well. And I think